All right, here I am at my place with GYRO, and so we're going to show it to you on the glass, right? This is actually the final prototype version, and then we're going to answer some of the questions that you've got. So let's have a look. The first thing you're going to notice is that we have a Trad 8 pole, yeah? And I want to really stress this. This is a pole tool. It also works as a hand tool, but it's not a hand tool that you can put on a pole. And the background of that I'm going to cover very quickly is that Peter Thomas is our distributor for Reach It in Australia. So he has every Reach It pole. Byron Guest is a long-time Reach It customer. He has every Reach It pole. He's a friend of Peter, so he can get any Reach It pole. And they have tried over the last year with every different pole, the Trad 4, the Trad 12, the Trad 8, the top section of a tactical, the top 4 sections of a mini, all of the different ones that they have tried, they always come back to the Trad 8. So the Trad 8 became the basis of the GYRO Pro pole. It's a Kevlar outer. You can actually see through it here. When you see that yellow is Kevlar, right? And then when we open up inside, then you'll see it's carbon fiber. Okay, so the top 2 sections are 100% carbon fiber. It's not carbon fiber wrapped fiberglass, which you'll find a lot on poles of this kind of weight. So I don't wet you.
That's the Trad 8, but when they buy the GYRO Pro, they're going to get the GYRO Pro pole.
It'll be a branded GYRO Pro pole.
Which is a Trad 8,
Which is a Trad 8, yeah. So if you have a Trad 8 and you have a tactical or a mini, you can write to us privately and we can acknowledge that you already have a pole like this. You won't have all the tube runner functions if you've already got a Trad 8, so we've modified this and a few other things. But anyway, we're good to go if you have a Trad 8 and a Reach It pole. Okay. Other than that, it's a pole tool, and you'll either get it with the GYRO pole or the basic will come with an aluminum pole or an aluminium pole, and they're both 8 feet. They're exactly the same length for exactly the same reason, but this is the cheap way to get into GYRO and have a go at it. But anybody who's a Reach It customer will definitely go with the GYRO Pro pole because it's that good. All right. Now I'm going to show you why. Let's go to the glass. So I'm 2 meters 6'6". So oops, I just touched that. I'm 2 meters 6'6". So I'm going to be on the high side. Most guys are down here somewhere.
Speak up.
Most guys are down here somewhere, right? So what we're going to do is extend the pole some, right? And then I can show you how easy it is for us to get to the whole window. Yeah, I didn't have to move. I can get to the whole window completely in one action.
Notice his posture. Sorry, I'm louder.
No, you be louder, but that's good. Yeah. Okay. So that is what is like incredible from an ergonomic and an efficiency point of view. Now what we learned from Byron is that the GYRO technique will be as follows. You will go to the window and you'll come across and you'll go down with the jets under the GYRO. Right, so any dirt and dust, we're going to pull it off with all the water underneath the GYRO. Yeah, and then we can come back and do that, and do that, and do that. And Byron, if you're watching, or Peter's watching, you tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm learning from you guys. And then we come back.
Do that move again, I missed it.
From there.
Yep.
And then we come back. Yep.
Now we're
going to do the final rinse, where the last thing on the glass is the demineralized water, which will then leave the window spot free. Yeah. Here we go. Put those twisting on it. Open that up a bit. So somebody says, oh, we've already got a there we go. Now we've got total control. Somebody says I've already got a tactical pole, right? Well, yes, we could take GYRO off. I'm going to open it up here and I'm going to take it out. So I'm going to change poles and I can put it into a tactical. This is out of the factory. There we go. So I could put it onto a tactical pole and maybe we can clip this in here. Maybe not. No. So then you're going to see the issues that we're going to have is this tube is going to start controlling the G-force. But you could say you're working it, but this is like a 2 kilogram pole, or what's that, like 4.5 pounds, and you've got this really, really nimble, light tool on the end of it. So then you could say, oh, I don't need that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the number 1 section out, and I'll have a 4-foot pole, right? And you're still going to have these issues with this, but we'll make sure that you've got one of the G-force tube runner clamps on to fit onto your reach it pole. I think I'm just going to make that decision right now. So there should be another one of those in the pack.
Yep.
Right, and we'll change this one out so that you can just click it in and click it out, and that will release that. But it's still only a 4-foot pole like that. Yep. And so as a 4-foot pole, you know, it's workable. But I'll tell you the other thing from an ergonomics point of view is what Peter and I have always worked out is that the bigger the hand, when you grip something for a long time that's so small and you start overlapping thumbs and fingers, like the more you overlap the thumb and finger, the more your hand's going to cramp, right? So we're very committed. We understand why people want to use their own pole, but we also understand why we want to make sure that you start with an amazing experience. And the amazing experience is the gyro, and to be gyro, it's got to be on a pole. Now, quickly to show you how we use it as a hand tool, it's pretty simple. How's that? Yeah. Did it? So, as a hand tool, we're good to go. But you can't, I can try and show you a gyro, but actually it's not as nimble as when it's on a pole. Yeah.
And then notice your posture when you go down to lower.
Oh yeah, if I have to go down here, then I've got to get down like this. That's a completely different experience. And up here, I've got to go like that. Yep. So
it's not terrible, but it's not perfect.
Yeah, and we want it to be perfect. It's like it's $399, $650 New Zealand, $600 Australian. You know, like it's meant to be perfect. That's it. It's got to be the right experience. And I just can't bring myself to compromise the ergonomic and efficiency in order to save the price.
Talking about ergonomics, Eric Gillian's watching.
Oh, good on you, Eric. Yeah, well, this is inspired. This whole argument of mine, where Eric, we've been arguing with a lot of people for the last 3 days. Can I not just get it as a hand tool? And I've said no. And it all comes from that day where you did your Tai Chi at Rotorua in New Zealand. And we talked together and said one day...
Oh, how easy was that?
One day we'll make a pole-based brush, you know, something like that. Okay, so the engineer worked out how to do this, but I haven't. And then this is a little squeeze... Oh, sorry. This is a little squeezy. You'll get used to that. There it is. Some things I don't do myself. Yeah, Harrison did it with a...
Just...
Now you can see that top tube is not going to compete with... because it's a very soft tube. It's not rhino tube. It's a silicon tube. It's very soft. So it doesn't want to push the scrub away. Yep. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to show you something else that we're working with and on, and you'll have a look at the shape of the jets. Right, so this is a pencil jet here, like a single stream. But if you have a look at these are not like those. Some of these are not like the other, right? So what we're working on is getting that water to spread out. So it's like a fan jet in a rinse bar, right? And we're getting there. So over time it'll get better. You can see it doesn't make a lot of difference as to whether it's a pencil or one of these, but it's going to be beautiful when we finally get there, where we can actually just fan the water across the top there. Yep. So,
and anybody who gets the GYRO now, if we get upgrades in the future, can retrofit.
Yeah. If we get something amazingly different, but this is working completely properly now. You can see that, right? And then the next thing, I just want to hone in here. Right, I just want to make sure that there's a couple of things where we've added metal for a reason. Check your cameras, Harry, just to make sure they don't get wet.
Yes, it's good.
So there's a brass O-ring washer in there, and the reason for that is we have plastic on plastic and we don't want it to wear down and you end up with slop in the tool. This bar here is stainless steel, and we did that because this is aluminium, and this is the cam, which means that we can change the location like you would with a squeegee. And I'm doing this with a lot of leverage here. These little markers are there. And so now we have the ability to get up under something. Yep. So if there's an overhang there, like a hurricane shutter or roller shutter, security shutter, then we can get up under there. And this tube will just bend over really, really easily. You won't have any resistance from this. Okay, so we're able to go across the top there like this. And the other thing which Byron always points out, but I don't know if you can see it, but when the scrub is on the top of the frame, parallel to the top of the frame, that top jet is also in the same place, so it's rinsing to the edge of the agitation zone. Yeah, so everything is, to the best of our ability, perfect to the millimeter, to the 1/24 of an inch. Yeah. And then of course we can go across to this side and lock it in here. So you see these squares, instead of it being aluminum on plastic or plastic on plastic, we've made it aluminum on dropping into a square of stainless steel. And the reason for that is because the pressure on this is lateral, you know, if you bang it against a frame or something, and we want to make sure that that doesn't wear down. All right, over time you don't want to have to replace this every 6 months or every year. You spend a lot of money on it, it's got to last a long time. That's the logic, right? Okay, so we've thought all that through.
Scrubs options.
Scrubs options. Oh yeah, so what I'll do is I'll pinch this and we can take this scrub off. Ta-da!
GYRO.
GYRO. You can hold that for a second. And then in my scrubs holster, I give you the options of carborundum. Carborundum is, I think you'll find that very popular, but it's
a more aggressive non-scratch pad.
Yeah, and it's got a slight risk. It is, if you have a soft treated glass, it will leave fine lines, right? So you got, as a professional, you got to know that. This is normal non-scratch, whether it's white or orange, it'll be normal non-scratch treatment. Then we have magic eraser,
Green rubber,
microfiber,
microfiber.
and microfiber. Microfiber is for adding. I'm not a fan of microfiber on glass, but if you need to add detergent to get rid of hydrocarbons, oops, sorry. If you need to add detergent to get rid of hydrocarbons, then you're going to need microfiber. Okay.
Show us some green rubber.
Put another one on. Yeah. There. And we are away again. Oh, you can hear that sticking on the glass. So green rubber is great for grabbing. It's really grabby, right? So it'll grab bee poo and things like that off the glass, right? So we've tried to take all the learnings from the rocker and then say which ones we can make for this, because we want to go all the way to the edge. And you'll see that all of the scrub pads are bigger than the block. And the reason for that is, if we go up into the corner, right? When we go into the corner, if that corner's fixed, the scrub will, sorry, I'm coming back down again. The scrub will deform into the corner, which gives us a little bit of agitation and also gives us a fit. It's not so relevant for the green rubber actually, but. All right. What else, Harry? If we fully extend this, we can get to where? Yeah. So you can have a very high ground floor window and reach it with an 8-foot pole. You know, I can even get up to there if I wanted to, you know. Okay. So basically it's opinion versus advice, and we are going with advice on the pole issue. I know that's the one and only objection, people saying they don't want another pole, but we feel very strongly that Peter and Byron have used it for a year as it's been developed, and their conclusion is convincing and compelling and final. Right. So again, if you're joining us, if you have a Trad 8 and another Reach It pole, you can talk to us privately and we have a special pack for you. But other than that, it is 100% a pole-based product. Are there any questions?
There are no questions yet.
Great. Well, hang around. If you've got a question, I'll try and answer it for you while we're still live. Other than that, we will
Go for the next like five minutes or something like that.
Yeah. So this is the logic of this system. We've got a few other tools that we're going to develop on this pole stem, so that you'll be able to get the light and the ultralight will be able to come on and off and use it as a hand tool. We also recognize the power of those as hand tools in certain situations. So we're going to also develop this logic here around those tools, and then eventually I guess we'll end up with a squeegee.
Shh. Good. Show us from top to bottom again.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay, so that's the top, and that is the bottom. It's incredibly ergonomic.
I'm just going to focus on your posture.
Oh, you old. I form a belly in.
Green rubber.
Sticky. That's green rubber on treated glass, actually. Yep. Just got to push that a little bit harder. Great. All right. GYRO.
How high can that pole clean?
Depends how tall you are, I guess, but it's an 8-foot extended pole, 2.4 meters. So then you'd add your reach height to the maximum that this pole will clean to.
How well does it hold its position when pulled off the glass? The wagtail flops all over the place.
Oh, great point. Fantastic. Okay, so in the kit, we give you the tools, right? We're very aware of that one. So we give you the tools to hold this nut and to go the Allen key for this hex head. And so you can tighten this and set it at the tension that you want. And again, remembering that there are brass bushes in here, so when you set it tighter, it's not going to grind the plastic on the plastic and make it looser and looser. And we also give you the tool for this nut here, so you can set the tension as you wish. If you like it floppy, you can have it floppy. If you like it firm, then you can set it at whatever firmness you want. Yeah, and importantly, this tube here does not influence that setting.
So you can put it on the glass and take it off?
Yeah. So I can say I want it off at that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Different angle?
I can say, it needs that. If I'm like this and I want to take it off.
Got it.
That's firm.
Eric Gillian's got an observation on the jets.
Yes.
The fans are showing weakness because the pencils are taking the path of least resistance.
The inner fans, these ones. Yeah, there's another issue actually, Eric. We're playing inside a very small area. These are fanning and then they're coming back in, but that's the internal structure of how we can get that water to go. Yeah, it's not just that. The other thing is the 3D print is not a polished surface. So inside where we go to splay the water, it's not actually a smooth surface, so we can't get a perfect result yet.
Yeah, we're working on it, Eric. We're working on it.
Everything takes time. A long time. Okay, so any others?
Nope, that's it.
Great. Let's wind it up and we'll make some video on this and get it on the website. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.